capital of the world, and this artist was constantly in the charts. Yes, Donovan, who to many was Britain's answer to Bob Dylan. After hits like Mellow Yellow, Sunshine Superman, he developed a career as a songwriter, composing film scores. However, today he's come across from Ireland to play at the Irish Centre in Leeds as part of his tour. Donovan, I have to say straight away, you haven't changed a bit.
Well, you're very flattering.
Ever since I used to put the posters of you up in my bedroom, and my friend Michelle used to cover up the eyes on the poster so you couldn't see her undressing. I bet you didn't know that.
Well, how
I'm sure
nice
adolescent
of her.
girls haven't changed. It was a pretty meteoric rise, wasn't it?
It was. It was rags to riches. I was hitchhiking on the beaches in 1964, and I was playing my guitar to a few friends round the campfire. And it's true, within a period of 2 months, I was on national television.
Were you discovered then?
Oh, yeah, in the usual classic way. I played in a club, and it came about that friends of ours in a rhythm and blues band called the Cops and Robbers, from our town, St Albans, around London, were playing, and I was in the break. I was playing in the break. The two managers who came liked me better than the Cops and Robbers, and they took me up to London.
You were often compared with Bob Dylan. Was that consciously a conscious decision to try and sort of emulate him, or...?
No, in actual fact, at the time, in New York, there was a folk scene, just similar to the folk scene in London, and Bobby had come out a year and a half before me, and the similarities were quite obvious because of the folk revival in both continents. When he came over to England, we became good friends, and in actual fact, we played off against each other to play the press up a little bit, so we manipulated each other's images.
It was a moment of sort of great adulation, was it? How do you look back at that?
It was great. He was a great inspiration to many singers, the Beatles included. In fact, it was Bob Dylan that introduced me to the Beatles at the time.
Really?
Because they had gone to see his shows and I'd gone to see his shows.
Now then you moved on, didn't you? You developed a different career as a songwriter.
Well, it became clear after that that the romance that British singers had with American music, rhythm and blues, jazz and folk music, was taken over by a purely British style of popular music, and we began to influence the American charts. And I started digging deep into my folk background in Glasgow, where I was born, and I drew up a minstrel type of lyricism, and the poetry started coming into my songs.
But you do still hanker, don't you, after the performance, because you're going to perform tonight, aren't you?
Oh, yes. No, I've returned...
What are you going to...
I'm going to do a selection of songs from the past, and a new selection of new songs that are coming out on a new album soon. And this is a warm-up tour, beginning, by the way, after many, many years in Leeds, and I'm doing 6 dates.